We've all heard the story, haven't we? The Garden of Eden, the forbidden fruit, the serpent's temptation. But what if I told you there's more to this ancient tale than meets the eye? Here at The Legacy We Leave, we delve into the mysteries of the past, seeking those forgotten narratives that shaped our world. If you too are drawn to the enigmatic allure of the past, then subscribe to The Legacy We Leave. Our journey takes us deep into the annals of history, to a time when humanity was but a whisper in the wind. The Book of Genesis, a sacred text revered by many, offers a glimpse into this primordial era, narrating the dawn of humankind. But the Genesis account leaves us with unanswered questions, with tantalizing gaps in the narrative. In the early 20th century, a discovery of extraordinary significance sent ripples through the world of biblical scholarship. A lost manuscript known as the Lost Book of Adam and Eve surfaced from the depths of antiquity, promising to illuminate the hidden chapters of our origins. This extraordinary text claims to offer a first-hand account of Adam and Eve's life after Eden. It provides a depth and complexity to their story that challenges our understanding of these iconic figures. The sands of Egypt, keepers of countless secrets, have long whispered tales of lost civilizations and forgotten gods. It was here, in this land of ancient wonders, that the lost book of Adam and Eve would resurface, its pages whispering secrets held captive for millennia. Little did they know that amidst the gold and grandeur, a different kind of treasure awaited. Section 2. The Valley of Kings. On the west bank of the Nile, nestled amidst the limestone cliffs, lay the Valley of Kings, the final resting place for many of Egypt's most powerful rulers. Among those drawn to the Valley of Kings was the renowned archaeologist Howard Carter. His persistence would pay off, leading to one of the most significant archaeological discoveries of all time. Section 3. Tutankhamun's Legacy Unveiled. In 1922, Carter's relentless search culminated in the discovery of a lifetime, the intact tomb of Tutankhamun. But amidst the dazzling gold and precious jewels, something else lay hidden, a collection of papyri scrolls, their fragile surfaces brittle with age. Section 4. A manuscript emerges. As scholars painstakingly deciphered the scrolls from Tutankhamun's tomb, they stumbled upon a text unlike any other. The manuscript, dubbed the Lost Book of Adam and Eve, seemed to offer a first-hand account of Adam and Eve's life after their expulsion from the Garden of Eden. The Lost Book of Adam and Eve does not shy away from the pivotal moment that changed the course of human history, the fall from grace. Adam and Eve, their innocence shattered, succumbed to the lure of forbidden knowledge, their transgression echoing through the ages. The Lost Book delves into the immediate aftermath, into the raw, visceral emotions that coursed through Adam and Eve as they confronted the consequences of their actions. The expulsion from Eden was not merely a physical banishment, it was a severance from a state of grace. As Adam and Eve took their first tentative steps beyond the garden's gates, the weight of their transgression pressed down upon them. The world outside Eden was a harsh and unforgiving place, a stark contrast to the paradise they had lost. With each step they took, the Garden of Eden receded further into the distance, becoming a bittersweet memory. The wilderness stretched out before them, a seemingly endless expanse of desolate plains, jagged mountains, and treacherous ravines. They faced hunger and thirst, their bodies weakened by the unfamiliar hardships of their new existence. Section 4. A Cave of Solitude. Driven by instinct and desperation, Adam and Eve sought refuge in a cave high atop a mountain. This cave, which they named Migus, or the Cave of Treasures, offered them a measure of protection from the elements. Stripped bare of the comforts of Eden, they learn to rely on their own ingenuity and resourcefulness. Section 5. Echoes of Paradise. Despite the hardships they faced, Adam and Eve did not abandon their faith. The Lost Book recounts how, in their darkest hour, God did not abandon them. Section 1. The Weight of Mortality. Life outside Eden was a harsh mistress. Adam, his body still bearing the marks of divine creation, now felt the full weight of mortality pressing down upon him. Each day was a battle against the elements, against hunger, against the creeping despair that threatened to consume them. And yet, through it all, their love for one another remained. Section 2. Children of Exile. Into this world of hardship and uncertainty, new life emerged. The Lost Book recounts the births of Adam and Eve's children, each child a testament to the enduring power of creation. They poured all their knowledge, all their hard-won wisdom, into their sons, teaching them how to survive in this unforgiving world. Section 3. Cain and Abel, a brother's betrayal. But the peace of their family life was not to last. As Cain and Abel grew older, a rift developed between them, a chasm fueled by jealousy and resentment. Cain, consumed by envy, lashed out, striking down his brother in a fit of rage. Section 4. The Wages of Sin. The murder of Abel sent shockwaves through their small family, forever altering the course of their lives. Cain, cursed by God for his sin, was banished from their midst, condemned to wander the earth as a fugitive and a vagabond. Adam and Eve, heartbroken and guilt-ridden, were left to grapple with the consequences of their own transgression. Section 5. Seeds of Hope. Yet, even in the face of unspeakable tragedy, the Lost Book does not abandon the theme of hope. New children were born to Adam and Eve, each child a testament to God's enduring love and a promise of future redemption. They named their third son Seth, a name that meant appointed, for they saw in him a sign that God had not abandoned them entirely. Section 1. A Covenant in the Wilderness. The Lost Book of Adam and Eve presents a unique perspective on the relationship between God and humanity after the fall from grace. It portrays a God who, though deeply saddened by their disobedience, never abandons his children. He continues to communicate with Adam and Eve, not through thunderous pronouncements from the heavens, but through subtle whispers of guidance. This knowledge sustains them through their trials, giving them the strength to persevere even when all seems lost. Section 2. Whispers of Redemption. Life outside Eden was a constant test of faith. Adam and Eve faced not only the physical challenges of their new existence, but also the psychological and spiritual turmoil that came with their separation from God's immediate presence. The Lost Book doesn't shy away from depicting their moments of doubt, their cries of anguish, their desperate pleas for guidance. Yet, even in their despair, God never truly abandons them. He sends messengers, angels who appear in various forms to offer guidance, comfort, and reassurance. These messengers, sometimes disguised as animals or travelers, impart wisdom, teach them practical skills for survival, and most importantly, remind them of God's enduring love and his plan for their ultimate redemption. These divine interventions, though often subtle and enigmatic, are crucial to Adam and Eve's spiritual survival. They serve as lifelines to their faith, reminding them that they are not alone in their struggle, that a loving God watches over them, and that even in the darkest of times, his grace is sufficient to see them through. Section 3. The Trials of Faith. The Lost Book portrays Adam and Eve's journey as a continuous cycle of trials and triumphs, of falls from grace and subsequent acts of repentance. They are not depicted as perfect beings, but as flawed individuals grappling with the consequences of their choices, striving to understand God's will, and seeking to live in accordance with his teachings. One such trial involves a period of prolonged famine and illness. The land, once bountiful, yields meager crops. Their children, weakened by hunger, succumb to sickness. Adam and Eve, their hearts heavy with grief, cry out to God, questioning his justice and pleading for mercy. Through these trials, their faith is tested and refined. They learn the true meaning of humility, the importance of repentance, and the transformative power of forgiveness. They come to understand that while God may not always shield them from suffering, he will never abandon them in their hour of need. Section 4. The Unfolding Plan. The Lost Book of Adam and Eve does not offer a simplistic or neatly packaged narrative. It is a complex and multifaceted exploration of faith, free will, sin, and redemption. It presents a God who is both just and merciful, who demands accountability for our actions, yet remains ever willing to forgive and embrace us in our brokenness. As Adam and Eve approach the end of their earthly lives, they are filled not with fear, but with a sense of peace and anticipation. They have walked with God through the wilderness, their faith tested and refined by fire. They have witnessed both the depths of human depravity and the heights of divine compassion. Their story, as recounted in the Lost Book, is not just their story, it is the story of humanity itself. It is a reminder that we are all on a journey of faith, a journey fraught with challenges and temptations, but also filled with moments of grace, redemption, and the unwavering presence of a loving God. Section 1. The Language of Symbols. The Lost Book of Adam and Eve, like many ancient texts, is rich in symbolism, its narrative interwoven with imagery that transcends the literal and speaks to deeper spiritual truths. These symbols, often drawn from the natural world, serve as doorways to a realm beyond words, inviting us to engage with the text on a more profound, intuitive level. Symbols, by their very nature, are multivalent, open to interpretation, and capable of carrying multiple layers of meaning. In the Lost Book, these symbols function as a kind of spiritual shorthand, conveying complex ideas and emotions in a concise and evocative manner. They invite us to move beyond the limitations of language and engage with the text on a more visceral, experiential level. To fully appreciate the richness of the Lost Book, we must learn to read the language of symbols, to decipher the hidden messages encoded within its pages. By doing so, we unlock a deeper understanding of Adam and Eve's journey and, by extension, our own. Section 2. The Cave, a Sanctuary of Faith. One of the most prominent symbols in the Lost Book is the cave, Magus, or the Cave of Treasures, where Adam and Eve seek refuge after their expulsion from Eden. On a literal level, the cave provides shelter from the elements and protection from wild beasts, but on a symbolic level, it represents something far more profound, a sanctuary of faith, a place of retreat and reflection where Adam and Eve can reconnect with God and grapple with the consequences of their choices. The cave's darkness, often associated with the unknown and the primordial, becomes a metaphor for the spiritual darkness that has descended upon humanity after the fall. Yet, it is within this darkness that Adam and Eve find solace, that they confront their own weaknesses, and that they ultimately experience the transformative power of God's grace. The cave, then, is not merely a physical space, but a psychological and spiritual one. It represents the inner sanctum of the heart, the place where we retreat to confront our own demons, to seek guidance, and to find solace in the embrace of the divine. Section 3. Water Cleansing and Renewal. Water, another recurring symbol in the Lost Book, represents cleansing, renewal, and the promise of redemption. After their expulsion from Eden, Adam and Eve encounter water in various forms: rivers, streams, raindrops, and even tears. Each encounter serves as a reminder of God's presence, a source of both physical and spiritual sustenance. Water's association with cleansing is deeply rooted in human experience. Just as water washes away dirt and grime, so too does it symbolize the washing away of sin and the renewal of the spirit. In the Lost Book, Adam and Eve often bathe in rivers and springs, seeking to cleanse themselves of their transgression and to prepare themselves for communion with God. Water, then, represents not only physical sustenance but also spiritual nourishment. It is a symbol of God's grace, ever present and ever flowing, offering us the opportunity to start anew, to wash away the past, and to embrace a future filled with hope and the promise of redemption. Section 4. The Serpent and the Seed, a Timeless Struggle. The serpent, the embodiment of temptation and deceit, plays a significant role in the Lost Book. It presents a nuanced view, portraying the serpent as a symbol of darker human impulses. The serpent's presence serves as a reminder of human frailty and susceptibility to temptation. It represents the ongoing battle between our higher and lower selves. Yet the Lost Book also introduces the seed, a symbol of hope and redemption. God promises a descendant will crush the serpent's head, conquering sin and death. This highlights the timeless struggle between good and evil within the human heart. A legacy of questions. The Lost Book of Adam and Eve blends history, mythology, and spiritual allegory, leaving us with more questions than answers. Its pages offer glimpses into a past shrouded in mystery, where human choices reverberated through the ages. Was this book part of Tutankhamun's tomb, or a tale of legend? Was it penned by a human hand, or from a source beyond comprehension? These questions, like faith, may never be answered. Perhaps the questions themselves hold the most profound truths. The enduring power of story. Throughout history, stories have been vessels of wisdom and mirrors reflecting the deepest yearnings of the human heart. The Lost Book of Adam and Eve speaks to timeless themes of love, loss, betrayal, and redemption. Stories transport us beyond our own perspectives, expanding our capacity for empathy. The Lost Book reminds us we are part of a larger narrative, a story that began long before us and will continue long after. It is a story written in the fabric of creation, unfolding in the birth of a star, the unfurling of a leaf, and the beating of a human heart. Beyond dogma and doctrine. The Lost Book of Adam and Eve, with its alternative perspective on the biblical creation narrative, challenges us to look beyond rigid interpretations of dogma and doctrine and to engage with ancient texts through a more nuanced, introspective lens. It reminds us that faith, at its core, is not about blind adherence to a set of rules, but about a personal relationship with the divine, a relationship forged through experience, reflection, and the courage to ask difficult questions. The discovery of lost texts, texts that challenge our preconceived notions and offer alternative perspectives, can be unsettling. They can shake the foundations of our belief systems and force us to confront the limitations of our own understanding. But they can also be incredibly liberating, freeing us from the constraints of dogma and inviting us to embark on a more personal, more meaningful spiritual journey. The Lost Book of Adam and Eve does not provide all the answers, but it does remind us that the journey itself, the ongoing quest for truth and meaning, is ultimately more important than any destination. The journey continues. The discovery of the Lost Book of Adam and Eve is not the end of a story, but rather the beginning of a new chapter in our ongoing exploration of faith, history, and the mysteries of the human condition. It is a call to delve deeper, to question assumptions, and to embrace the unknown with a spirit of curiosity and wonder. As we continue to unearth the treasures of the past, both literally and figuratively, we must be prepared to confront the unknown, to grapple with ambiguity, and to allow our understanding of ourselves and the universe we inhabit to evolve. The Lost Book of Adam and Eve, with its enigmatic tales and its timeless themes, serves as a powerful reminder that the journey of discovery is never truly over, that there will always be new mysteries to unravel, new truths to uncover, and new stories to tell. Let us then continue the journey, armed with the wisdom of the past, the curiosity of the present, and the unwavering belief that the most profound discoveries are yet to come.